a young old friend, Will Devlin from the great MessageGears. Will, are you out there, my friend?
Yes, John, can you hear me?
I can hear you. And dude, who would have thought that this would be the next time I would see you in such a
I know
lame way?
it is a pretty. You're
So lame.
doing great considering the circumstances. But yeah, it's
Well, listen, man, we really appreciate you stepping in and doing this, and we know you guys have been doing some great things in a lot of different categories when it comes to different brands and companies out there. But you guys have a nice footprint in QSR, and I know you got about 10 minutes here. You want to share some of the things that you guys have cooking over there, so I won't take up more of your time. But I just want to say, man, it's great seeing you, and thanks for doing this.
likewise, John. Thanks for having us. And can I get a check and make sure we see my screen?
Yep, we're seeing your screen, and yeah, you're looking like you're doing great. We can hear you just fine. So take it
All
away,
right.
sir.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, my name is Will Devlin. I'm the VP of Marketing at MessageGears. I'm going to explain in the next 10 minutes or so why I think in all this madness, it's the right time to innovate for your brand, to elevate your marketing. Like John mentioned, we're proud sponsors of this event. We've been partners with MediaPost for a long time. And so far it's early in this event, but I really enjoyed the panels and the discussions already. So it's a joy to be here. And 2020, right? It's been just a super fun year. I think at the beginning of this year, there was a lot of optimism for at least me, and I think a lot of people I've talked to, right? There's a fresh decade, there's new beginnings, perhaps a flying car or two, and we're just glad to have 2019 behind us, and we're thinking finally 2020 is here. And it's going to be my year. I've got plans, I've got goals, I've got trips, I've got friends. And, we're here at the end of October, and, I've referred to it as the 6th April in a row. And we're all feeling a little shell shocked, right? Nothing's turned out as we planned. And even if you could have predicted some of what the world's thrown at us, you certainly couldn't have said, oh, it's all going to happen this year. It's all in one. So yeah, January, ready to take on the world, feeling good and confident, blissfully unaware about everything that's ahead of us. And now we're just tired and exhausted. All right, last one. We started the year feeling like gladiators. We were underestimated. We're ready to show the world what we can do. And this is at least me. I don't know, Russell Crowe, what happened, but I'm a little puffier. I'm a little more stressed out than I was back in January. And maybe some of you feel the pain as well. So 2020 has thrown a lot at us as people, and certainly from a marketing side, I'm a marketer, and we work with marketers and MessageGears. The pandemic, the economic uncertainty that comes with that. There's the remote work aspect. There's the uncertainty of how people are going to do business with you and your operators. There's the racial injustice movements, lots of division and news about the election in the United States. It's taken a lot for everyone to stay sane, and marketers have had to navigate through those rough waters while somehow trying to stay true to their brands, right? As marketers, they've had to be nimble, had to adjust what we're doing for every curveball thrown at us. It's never been easy to be in marketing, but this year has certainly been a real test. There's a few things, right? We work with some retailers at MessageGears, and they're seeing a lot of customers lean on their digital channels to shop and get communications. There was a study put out by Forrester that came out earlier this week that says over the next year, consumers should expect about 40% increase in the amount of messages they get from brands, and particularly retailers, right? As they're trying to shift people, and keep them loyal and keep them active when they're not going into physical locations as much, right? And so, and then there's also the economic pieces of it. Some customers have more money to spend because they haven't done any traveling or haven't gone on any vacations. But so many others are in a much different situation where they have less or no money to spend on things like new clothes or electronics or home goods. And so those marketers have really had to be creative and find ways to stay in front of customers, as well as accommodate for new ways to do business like curbside pickup, like we've been talking about, faster delivery, things like that. In the travel space, the story is much different, right? Where retail can feel like, okay, we can still have people shop with us online and transact in a different way. Travel's this year has been tough, and it continues to be tough for the travel and hospitality industry. It's been about a year personally since I've been on a plane, or I've stayed in a hotel, or I've rented a car, or any of that, and I'm not really sure, frankly, when I'm going to be able to do it again. Now, travel companies that we work with are certainly sending fewer emails, but they've become much smarter and more purposeful about how they're executing on the marketing side as a whole to make sure that they're staying in front of people and reminding them that they're going to be there when needed. And so their communications throughout this year have gotten better. And some, again, have even seen better engagement rates than before COVID. And then finally, some areas like we've been talking about in this event of seeing restaurants coming back, a lot still look like this. They're empty. And those businesses have had to be really creative in how they stay afloat this year or how they engage with customers, right? And the digital experience part of that and getting people to engage and dine with them in new ways has also evolved. And that's heightened the need for companies to really be thinking on their feet and trying new things. And that's kind of leading into the point of now being the time to innovate, because innovation is already happening all around us. And a lot of it has been out of necessity, right? We can't keep doing things the way we were doing them before. We keep kicking cans down the road in terms of digital transformation and customer centricity. We can't keep kicking them down the road. And so one thing forward-thinking enterprises have in common is that they're recognizing that, again, now's the time to double down on innovation and digital transformation, because 2020 has accelerated the need for change and improvement and the need for agility and nimbleness to be involved in marketing. There's no going back. And so this year, for some of you, adjusting your strategies and processes was a lot more difficult than others. But I think for everybody, it's highlighted the need to focus on the things that matter, which is timely, relevant, consistent experiences for customers, no matter where they interact with your brand, right? Whether it's digitally or whether it's in person, or whether it's at one of your hundreds or thousands of operators. Lots of brands talk a big game about being customer centric, but there's a real necessity now to be moving beyond this channel specific mindset that prevails within particularly so many marketing organizations, and truly shift to become more customer focused and understanding and capitalizing on what your customers' wants, needs, and preferences are. Everything you do has to have the customer at the center of it. And I know that sounds very obvious, but a lot of teams are going through the motions and they're not actually delivering on that promise. So while we separate our tools and teams behind the scenes by specialty and by channel, customers only see your brand, right? In so many ways, we've seen organizations that have changed their approach to ensure people have that connected, consistent engagement with them as a freeing, clarifying push forward. They ignore the noise, focus on what really matters. Before this year, we talked a lot of companies saying, yeah, we're going to chip away at digital transformation. I've been there myself. I was on the retail side for about a decade, and I was always focused on beating last quarter's numbers or selling more stuff. And COVID has certainly accelerated the need to innovate. And you know, while it's hard to change the tires going 100 miles an hour, so to speak, there's no excuses anymore. There's a lot of brands that know what they need to do to modernize and serve customers better, and now is the perfect time to do so. So how do we innovate? How do we transform our businesses to become more customer centric? So there are three ways companies that are innovating here in 2020. And again, these have accelerated this year. They've modernized data in order to get a 360-degree view of customer activity, regardless of where that happens. They've started building a best of breed tech stack that leverages that data in real time so you can activate those experiences at any touch point. And that's helped marketers focus on creating amazing loyalty and retention programs even more than before. You've probably heard people say that data is the new oil. And as marketers, it's not enough just to have more data, right? We have to make sense of the data. We have to be able to utilize it effectively and quickly for it to make a real difference. That seamless, smooth experience on the front end takes a lot of hard work on the back end. So having all your data in place is important, but having tools that can use it and feed new interactions back into it is extremely important. So the challenge for marketers remains one that's been prevalent for years, even after brands move to like a modern data warehouse system where they've got this centralized repository for all their customer data. Data friction. It's always been a headache to get access to the right data in a timely manner for marketing teams. For too long, marketers have fought an uphill battle with being able to use data effectively. There's either no way to access things necessary to be great, or there's so much of it scattered all over the place that it's really hard to make sense of it. So even as brands are modernizing and centralizing data in order to get a better view of customers, the tools they're using to access that data still act like they were acting 15 years ago, which ends up solving none of the data friction issues and actually creates more. So this does us as marketers a disservice because consumers expect a lot more of us, of the brands that we do business with, and these disconnected tools are the root cause of data friction for so many of us. So innovative brands are building best of breed marketing stacks where the tools that they're using live where that data lives in order to maximize the value and enable marketers to be great. There's no more data lags, there's no more syncing, there's no more storing data in different places. Brands are saying we've invested in a 360 view of our customers. Let's have tools that activate that where it lives. There's distinct advantages to this. Your messages get way better. You're able to do one-to-one personalization at massive scale because you're working off the freshest data possible. 2, you're going to get IT out of the way, which sounds good for marketing and definitely sounds good for IT. You're going to reduce the technology spend overall. Data syncs are costly. They require a lot of maintenance. And with a lot of these marketing clouds and other tools like that, you're paying to store the same data twice, once in your main database and once in your ESP. And that data in the ESP or the email provider isn't even as good by the time it gets there. It's stale. And that direct access keeps that data secure as well, which is one thing that we all definitely care about. And these are just a few of the benefits. So there's exciting implications for QSRs around data access. Culver's is one of our clients. They utilize what they know about their consumers to deliver a more personalized promotions, especially based on customer preferences. For Culver's, loyalty is not like a punch card or a rewards program, but continuous positive experiences throughout the brand. So they rely heavily on individual operators to build relationships with guests within those communities, and then marketing will facilitate emotional brand building from there. Their brand is built on the premise that every guest is treated in their restaurants as if they're a guest in somebody from Culver's own home. They've got about 3 million plus email subscribers and opt-ins, and they can see the guests interacting with email and layering that back into their programs to make them even better. One of the things they're doing that's exciting is rolling out the ability for local operators to control email and messages, right? So Culver's is going to be giving those operators tools and resources to message consumers while adhering to Culver's brand guidelines, right? So they're locally relevant messages that won't feel like a mass marketing email. This increases visits and loyalty within those local restaurants, and it makes it feel like a localized message while adhering to those national brand guidelines. And then in addition to a similar distributed marketing approach, Chick-fil-A layers in a very modular amount of content to be extremely relevant on email and mobile message delivery. We've known that 73% of loyalty members, they want to see their numbers update in real time so that they can activate it, right? So if I'm a member of Chick-fil-A's loyalty program and I go through the drive-thru and I eat something, I want to see on the app or in my email, I want to see my points balance update right away. Inconsistent point values or out of stock redemption items, things like that, it just leads to bad experiences overall. So Chick-fil-A layers in localized content. They capitalize on the Chick-fil-A One app. The users really play up the preferences, order history, rewards balances, and then they're feeding that back into their email programs in a very tailored way. And so every email that they send has hundreds or even thousands of variations that are designed to make the customer feel like Chick-fil-A knows exactly what they want. You have enough points for a milkshake today? We're going to show the milkshake in the top area of the email, for example. And that approach has been extremely beneficial and effective for Chick-fil-A. They've seen a huge lift in conversions and have seen their subscriptions go up 5x. So those two examples, as I wrap here, they illustrate the power of being able to connect to data about your customers and then activate that data at scale. And that is what we do at MessageGears. This is who we are, right? We talked about enterprise brands that build this tech stack that they really need to maximize the value of their data investments. Well, MessageGears marketing platform lives with your data, not away from it. And that opens up this world of possibilities for personalization and relevance at massive scale. Email marketing, mobile messaging, push, SMS, advertising efforts, all being controlled and activated off of that main data source is why we exist. And we work with some of the world's largest and smartest brands already, several of which we talked about today. Our platform enables these brands and more to create better customer experiences more efficiently and more economically than anywhere else. So remember, this year's been a trying one for all of us. Now is the time to modernize and innovate and make a company-wide commitment to customer centricity. And you know what? Maybe this will be, maybe 2021 will be everybody's year. So, so John, thanks so much for allowing me to be a part of the day, and Media Post for being great partners. We do have some MessageGears people that are here, so you can reach out to me directly or visit our website. But happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Hey, thanks so much. And do me a favor, if you're okay with that, if you wouldn't put your email address into the chat box for everyone, if they want to reach out to you, if they have questions or anything like that, that'd be great.
Will do. Will do.
All right. Excellent. Will, thank you, man. As always, it's great to have you guys involved, and we miss your team and, you know, Roger, and et cetera. Just tell everyone we said hey back there, and we'll be back together soon, hopefully, before we know it.
I can't wait. Thanks so much, John.
All right, man. Sounds good. All right.